What's going on, guys? Your boy Fluff here. Today we have yet another Necromancer build guide for you guys. It's the BloodMage. It's a pet build. It's really fast. It's fun. You're gonna love it. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so normally I don't really do summoner type builds. Usually the character itself is quite squishy, and you know all the toughness and the damage is in the pets. But this is actually quite different. The character is pretty tanky, actually really tanky. Health pool about 2 million, just crazy. And also usually summoner type builds don't really translate into speed because, you know, normally in a speed type build you're using in-gyam, you're porting from elite to elite. You're getting those packs, you're getting the pylon spawns, and usually with summoner type builds, you just kind of have to gradually clear your way throughout the rift. It's pretty slow. You can't really leave any mob behind because your guy will die, you know, stuff like that. So it doesn't usually equate to fast clears. But this is totally different. But it's really fun. I think you guys are going to like it. First, we're going to dive right into the skills. What this build revolves around is Skeletal Mage with life support, what we call the aka BloodMage. And so the whole build's revolved around juicing this skill up. And how do we do that? 1, we use the passive Extended Servitude, which increases duration. 2, we use the Circle of Naluge Evol. That's not even right. There's no way that's right. Which says you now raise an additional Skeletal Mage with each cast, so you get 2 instead of 1, and it lasts an additional 4 seconds. Another way we're buffing that up is with the trag'ouls 6-piece, which says your light spending abilities deal 3300% increased damage, but cost twice as much life. Your healing from skills is increased by 100%. But guess what, guys? Skeletal Mage with this rune, and this is the only rune that happens on, costs life, so it makes it a blood skill. Another way we're juicing it up is with Jess's set, and this says when the target of your command skeleton dies, your skeletons are automatically commanded to attack a nearby target, which is great. And then it says while your skeletons are commanded to attack at a target, all of your minions deal 400% increased damage. So again, all minions, guess what? Skeletal Mage, that's a minion. Then we're also using COE. You guys know how this works. It goes on a rotation, and the Necromancer is fortunate to only have 3 elements on that rotation: physical, cold, and poison. How lucky is that? And then finally in the cube, another huge piece of juicing up is Crispin's Sentence. We are proccing this thing like crazy. We have a whole bunch of CC in this build. We'll go into that in a minute. The armor slot, we're on a Tasker and Theo. It's a pet. Guess what? Tasker and Theo buffs the crap out of attack speed of pets. This is amazing. And then finally, Scythe of the Cycle. Your secondary skills deal 300% additional damage while Bone Armor is active, but reduce the remaining duration of Bone Armor by 4 seconds. So as long as we have Bone Armor active, our Skeletal Mages again get another multiplier of 300% additional damage. But just to show you guys how this works, and side note, look how freaking cool this looks. You're like Wrath of the Lich King over here with all these cold minions, a giant cold golem. Whatever, but anyways, you guys see Bone Armor. The duration is up here at the top, so as soon as we start casting some Skeletal Mages, you'll see that duration goes down. It's really important you keep that Bone Armor up. Not only because A, gives you movement speed, B, gives you toughness, but C, it pumps up your Skeletal Mages, or your Blood Mages. Now looking at the other skills in order of importance, we have Command Skeletons. Again, guys, because of your Justice set, you have to have Command Skeletons. This is where a majority of your damage is coming from. You gotta make sure Command Skeletons are attacking a target. You gotta make sure they're in that active command mode when they're like dashing from target to target. If they're just standing there attacking stuff and walking to the next target, you know they're not commanded. So make sure it's commanded, otherwise you're missing out on a ton of damage. But with this build, because our essence generation is so freaking high, you can basically spam command skeletons, which is really nice for elite packs because you can basically just keep spamming it on all the elites and they'll freeze them like non-stop. It's amazing. Again, guys, we're using Bone Armor here. 1, because it buffs up our movement with this rune. 2, because the Scythe of the Cycle, it buffs up our Blood Mages. And 3, because we are using the Wisdom of Kalan, which gives us way more toughness because of our stacks of Bone Armor. So make sure you guys always have this up. It's very important. Now, let's talk about trag'ouls 4-piece, which says while at full life, your healing from skills is added to your maximum life for 45 seconds up to 100% more. So anytime we devour and we get health, which will now be 6% health per corpse consumed, and 10 essence, we're going to become engorged. Real quick, I went ahead and consumed some corpses. You can see I get this engorged effect, and that increases my maximum health pool by up to 100%. Usually 900k, 800, 900k, get up to 2 million. It's fantastic. This is why I'm talking about you're super tanky. Lastly, the 2-piece says Blood Rush gains the effect of every rune. That means, guess what? We get all the runes on Blood Rush, so we haven't chosen a rune. Important things to note here, guys, is that A, you're gonna get armor when you Blood Rush. B, every single time you touch an enemy through the teleport, you get 2% maximum per enemy. 3 leaves a corpse behind, which works great with your devour. And lastly, you get 2 charges. Now the last skill here, we're using Command Golem, Ice Golem. Why? A, because it's a pet, and we're doing a lot of pet damage here. 2, because the active skill actually freezes everything in its radius for 3 seconds and increases their chance to be critically hit by 10%, which is amazing. Basically, say this were an elite pack. If I were to come in and freeze them, I have 3 seconds to do whatever I want to these guys before they can even hit me. And 2, it procs your crisp and sentence. We are trying to get the triple bonus here. We have the freeze from command skeletons. We have the freeze from Ice Golem. We have the snare from being all up in their grill with Bane of the Trap. Now real quick on passives, there's not a ton of great options here. 1 is Extended Servitude, that's a must because we are using the Blood Mages. 2, Final Service, it's nice to have a DI. 3 is Commander of the Risen Dead, this makes the ice effect come up more frequently, which is really nice. Now we're using Dark Reaping. 1, because there's not a lot of great options here. 2, it is nice to have like full essence 100% of the time, so you can spam command skeletons regardless of whether or not you think they're commanded. Ideally, in the perfect world, if Fueled by Death were working, which you guys, it's not working, but we'd probably want something like this to get more movement speed. And then if we could do that, we would probably use Fueled by Death and then use the Dislocation Rune for the stun on the bone armor. But it's not working yet, so keep that in mind. Now for gear, again guys, we're using trag'ouls 6-piece. We are wearing the 6-piece, no ring and world grandeur. Now how do you want to prioritize your stats? This is still in the infancy, but basically like any other pet build, attack speed on the gloves is really great. Crit damage, crit chance, intelligence. Shoulders, you know, int bite. It's good to have a big fat life pool here because of trag'ouls 4-piece. So I like int bite, life. And then finally cooldown, I think is really nice here for either bone armor or command Ice Golem. Helmet, just like everything else, int bite, crit chance. Chest, int bite, life, I like. Pants, int bite, armor would be ideal here. This is the best I have. And finally on the boots, int bite, armor, and skeletal mage damage. Now on the Jeth's stat, damage, attack speed, intelligence. Pump this thing up as high as you can damage wise. The offhand, something with crit chance and cooldown reduction is really good. And then for the shield, you know, crit chance and cooldown are really the only requirements here. Vitality and life are really nice, again, to just buff up this life pool like crazy when you get engorged. Bracer slot, we're wearing Nemesis, guys, no big surprise here. T13 and GR70. It's an absolute must item, it's amazing. Makes the rift go by so much faster. Here we want a physical damage roll because our blood mages are doing physical damage. Then invite crit chance. In the necklace slot, we're wearing Wisdom of Kalan. They are a guaranteed attack speed roll, which might be okay because we get 10% crit on our offhand. So losing it here might not be a huge deal. We still have, you know, 51% chance to crit. And for the belt, we're wearing a Witching Hour, invite, attack speed's great here, and crit damage. The rings, basic rolls, int, crit damage, crit chance. For legendary gems, we're using Esoteric Alteration. We are getting this huge health pool, but we don't have a ton of elemental resistance, so this is really nice. The other gem choices, Enforcer is a must. Guys, the mages are pet, more damage juice for them. And then of course Trapped, because it's Bane of the Trapped. And that pretty much sums it up. Again guys, I never thought a pet build would be able to make clears this fast. It's pretty amazing. I will note that you could wear the Compass Rose and Traveler's Pledge instead of Convention of Elements and Wisdom of Kalan. It performs very similarly, just in case you don't have those items. As always guys, we'll leave a rift clear at the end of this video, just to showcase how fast it is. You know, I average about 2.5 to 3 minutes with this on 65 and under. You know, GR70, I'm about 4 minutes. It's very fast, which is just mind-blowing for a pet build. I never thought a pet build would be able to go this fast, but I stand corrected. I like that. As always guys, like, subscribe, come over to Twitch, ask your questions. Peace out.